All right, what's up, beautiful people? Let's get straight into it. Yeah, I didn't upload a market checking crypto yesterday. I just did one myself. Um, so let's begin. I'll start with crypto, and then we'll finish off with Forex today. So I will be killing two birds with one stone. A potential semi-local accumulation forming with Bitcoin. I would just be aware because the high time frame is saying lower. Yes, we are accumulating randomly here, like we can. We have dipped quite a bit, so we can expect a slight, pullback, and then continuation until we mitigate this demand, which is what I have said is going to be quite likely and is quite likely. So we do expect us to hit this 57k level at some point in the near future. Very, very probable. Yes, there might be a shakeout around the 60k mark just to psych out a few people, and think that we're not going sub 50, and then it might pull back a little bit. People start longing everything around here, and then we're just gonna dump back down, mitigate this 57k level, and then potentially start climbing back up. So expect something like that. But for now, yeah, I can see this local accumulation forming, so we'll see what happens. I think there is some supply up top here. Yeah, there is. We do have supply up here, so I'm going to look for this to get mitigated first before we long anything. So something like this is going to be ideal, and we slowly come back in and then break structure again to complete the model. But yeah, the overall context of this whole chart right now is still bearish. I'm trying to remember as to why these things are getting removed. Like, I'm probably deleting them myself, so I'll copy this box again. Is it on a high time frame here? Oh, so it's all the way here. Okay, so I've copied this, but it was just hiding all the way here. Yeah, we're clearly bearish on everything here, so far nothing really changes here. So yeah, plan remains the same for Bitcoin. USDT, let's have a look at that. A potential distribution. Let me just change my desk to standing up. All right. Yeah, so a potential distribution here, but I can see us going a little higher just because we've left demand here in the process. So that's something to be aware of for USDT dominance. Just be aware there. We're still very, very bullish across this whole pair, so far the sentiment does not change. Alts continue to go lower. That is the sentiment. ETH has, yeah, so what I did talk about, I didn't talk about it, but what I charted up myself yesterday was quite a lot of these pairs are potentially looking to form high time frame accumulation models. So given right now the context is still bearish, we are allowed to start creating those deviations, and then when when USDT dominance does, because it will pull back eventually, and that's when you can expect alts to start climbing higher and just back into the range of these high time frame accumulations. And then when ETH starts going back up from its pullback, that's when you can expect these models to start coming back down and creating that third tap of their high time frame accumulations. And then should USDT dominance then go back down again, that's when you can conform these high time frame accumulation models, and that's exactly what Bitcoin's doing right now. So if we look at the higher time frame, we have this potential range here. So we can definitely see something like this happen, where we mitigate the 3-day, come back up, range in here, and then maybe, you know, September or August, we get a confirmation for this high time frame range to run back up to that 83k mark. So yeah, that's kind of the pre-planning here that I'm anticipating. But yeah, you can only trade the confirmation at the end of the day. But yeah, so far this is what ETH is doing, and this is what I have charted in ETH. So that is the game plan there. No real local accumulation forming, so I'm not going to try it force anything. Like I have said before, just be patient. All right, let's move on. Tonya, and then you'll see a lot of these old pairs are forming similar high time frame potential accumulation models. Ton at the moment, I'm doing a whole lot. It's just hit demand. Maybe we get like a bounce, or maybe we just rip through. Who is to know? Who is to know at all? Asta. Asta looks to have formed some form of accumulation, but it's just in the middle of nowhere. And then this is also not actually a second tap. Okay, it's just a valid tap too. But yeah, you're in no man's land here. There's no return to zone. There is aggressive moves down. Just expect lower for Asta overall. Expect us to go lower into this demand. Render is doing the exact same thing, ripping through demand as well. As a matter of fact, it had a model 2 there. And thus far, we are looking to go lower. And we've also left a bit of a supply chain above. Yeah, just expect lower here for render. Hype. Hype has formed some form of a P03 schematic up here. And yeah, it's kind of looking to go lower, so look to catch potential retracements. If there's clean supply above, use it. I can see some supply up here. It's not necessarily the cleanest, but it is supply. Tau is also just looking to go lower, so not a whole lot there I'm too worried about. Virtual has ran through this demand as well and is also looking to go lower. I'm just going to get rid of all these alerts. This can definitely be a potential range formation on virtual. So I would definitely be paying attention. And we will see what happens. Pump pump looks to continue to go lower. I'm also going to remove this. And then I will use this as my new range. And I am going to want to see us pull back in here for now, before looking at a potential third tap. Let's have a look at whiff. Similar story for whiff. No, not really interested in all this anymore. I will be looking at this as a potential accumulation model. Same thing, we'll need us to pull back in here. I can think there's triple, no, not triple highs, sorry. These have all been swept. There is supply here, so we'll see if we can come back up into this supply, which I feel like we probably will. Cake has, yeah, kind of completed the model. We can get rid of everything here. And we can use this as a new range formation. Once again, keeping in mind there is quite a bit of supply up here. A lot of this has been mitigated, but there is some lower supply in here. It's not that crucial, I guess. It's not that clear POI because a lot of it's been mitigated on the lower time frame, so we'll leave that as is. Litecoin as well. This has completed itself beautifully, absolutely beautifully, and has now formed that high time frame. Let me just remove everything here. So yeah, perfect trade here, like A++, and then we have these two to look out for at the moment. And that's that prime example of a distribution going into an accumulation. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Doge, I think Doge was forming an accumulation as well. Yeah, so this is actually a 2-tap. And then I did have, I remember drawing this yesterday, I had a little accumulation range here, but it looks like this has now become invalidated because we have continued to go lower, and yeah, this is just not a range anymore that I'm interested in. So I'm going to leave Doge as is. Not really of interest. BNB, what's happening there? Same thing, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot at all. Link could be something. I would want that supply to be mitigated first. And then as a matter of fact, I'm going to remove this as we no longer really need it. And then we can draw our range from here. Ooh. And then yeah, we can put that alert as well, just to let us know when we are in the process of a deviation. Quant, beautiful, beautiful setup, which I did not take, but yeah, this is beautiful price action distribution, which could be created with the sole purpose of fulfilling this accumulation, which we can then long into the range high at around $136, $137. So that is lovely to see it play out, and yeah, same thing, we'll wait for this POI to get taken. XMR, not a whole lot going on here. Similar to the other models, we're kind of just in that process of potentially forming a accumulation. Boom, that is drawn there. I will put an alert there. Sol remains, yeah, I did chart this up yesterday. Probably going to see some pullback quite soon, I would assume. If there's a local accumulation, that is always a bonus, but there is not. XRP, very similar story to Sol. Just be patient, let this play out, see what happens. Pepe, not really drawing anything yet. There is demand below. Will we get to this demand? I don't know. I think we could. But for now, I just want to wait and see what happens. I have a feeling we will. I can see Pepe hitting this demand just because it's so clear. Yeah, that's fine. Fartcoin, let's have a look what's going on here. Similar story. Not a whole lot at the moment. Same thing, we might catch some local accumulation. Boom. Expect this to deviate soon. XLM is looking to go lower and approach that demand, so nothing to do there. Aave is going a lot lower. That was our 1 hour market structure high, which we've never broke. We've probably formed another hour market structure high since then. Yeah. Regardless, there's no real rangy price action anymore here, so all accumulation models have been invalidated. Sui as well has formed. It's kind of just still in the process of, well, it's deviated this, or swept this, sorry, and we'll see what happens there. Not a whole lot happening locally. Once again, I expect lower, so a whole lot of pairs here I am expecting lower. Bitcoin Cash has completed this A++ setup, which has been in the plans for a while. Yeah, that's it for crypto, guys. So overall, expect us to go lower in alts. Expect USDT to go higher in the short term, and just start looking out for those high time frame accumulations when the sentiment slightly starts to change. So keep an eye out there. Let's have a look at Forex. We've cleared crypto in 18 minutes. It's pretty good. All right, gold. Man, I missed this setup. I won't say I've missed it just yet, but I was alert on the morning when this happened. Well, we got our tap 1, tap 2, tap 3, so we're already in a semi-confirmed accumulation here. We have our tap 1, tap 2, tap 3, and our extended tap 4. Are we still bearish? That's my question. We are still bearish on the 2 hour. As looking at market structure, we've broken to bearish there. Now we've deviated this low, so this is now a market structure high. That's not a, unless that is. That's actually just about, that's just a valid market structure, which, because it's not an inside bar candle, that wick is slightly higher than the wick to its left. Therefore, this was the market structure high, which has now been broken, and this is now a 2-hour market structure low. So we are officially bullish on the 2-hour and the hour. We're probably bullish on the 4-hour. So this is aligning for our long context. Bullish. That's our structure low, yeah. Yeah, so I'm essentially just looking for a, which I don't think I'll get. I think this opportunity was missed. There was a few opportunities to enter here. Quite a few opportunities to enter. You could have even gone for this safe entry off the 45-minute. Pullback. Stops under here. For a 3.85 RR. So that was the safe option entry on a 45-minute break. What have I just done? Did this just get removed? Well, we will do this again then. So yeah, the safe option was entering off a 45-minute break. In terms of a pullback, I'm going to be very happy if I can catch a pullback here, to be completely honest. I can very much put a limit buy here. Stops under here for a decent 4.23 RR. What I'm going to do is just quickly calculate my position size here. Once again, I do need a clean return to zone back in here. The thing I don't like is that we've borderline mitigated this. So I don't necessarily expect us to come back into this demand just because it has been mitigated. There is demand below as well. Like ever so slightly. Yeah, you do have refined demand below. I'm just going to calculate a hypothetical entry here. $4450.09 would be the entry, and then the stop loss would be 4428.46. And then your risk would be, this would be a 1% entry for me, and then lot size would be 0.25. Boom. That is my pre-planning there. This is actually quite nice of a setup. If we can just not sweep the Asia highs for now and start reversing back, that would be nice. But we'll see. Yeah, like, if I was to be completely honest, what I would like to see is us pulling back pretty much right now into this demand. And then kind of like entering here on a nice return to zone, breaking structure, and then this getting Asia highs pretty much getting taken out in New York. That is best case scenario for me here. And you know what, just just because it will be good to monitor. There is demand below. It's not the cleanest, but it is a OBIF. And price is obviously allowed to still come back in here. So we will see what happens. Alerts are set for the time being. And yeah, we'll see what happens. There is demand here, but it hasn't really grabbed anything, so it's not going to be that critical. Are we still bearish on the daily? Probably. Yeah, we are. And then on the 4 hour, I think we were. Oh no, sorry, we weren't. We're bullish on the 4 hour. Yeah, that's fine. All right, that is pre-planning for gold. Then I may as well, for my own curiosity, see where we would have broken structure here. So we front ran extreme liquidity from tap 3. And then broke it like right here on the... Yeah, that could have been entry. Was there a bad entry there? No. 3 minute. Your entry would have been here on the 3 minute. Right there. Boom. Boom. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, that is gold. Let's have a look at silver. Let's get the ball rolling. Not interested in any of this stuff anymore. Boom. What on earth is going on here? Okay, potential. We've swept all this. And now we have come back in and created a potential Model 1. Question is it a confirmed Model 1? We're definitely bearish on the hourly. We're definitely going to be bearish on the 4 hour. Bearish, failed to break any sort of market structure there. We're still bearish on the 4 hour. Yeah, we're still bearish, unfortunately. Never broke this daily high. And weekly's bullish. So yeah, we are quite bearish across the board here. Maybe we form some form of extended model as well here. We're definitely pushing up, like we're definitely wicking this. Could there be some form of market maker demand in here? Let's have a look. We definitely have this for now. Only thing I do not like is there is supply above. Just be very, very mindful there. There is supply going into this third, of technically extended fourth tap. No, sorry, there is supply which got created prior to confirming the third tap, and it has not been mitigated. It got created during Asia Tech somewhat, not necessarily, but best case scenario here is we pull back, bang, enter, and then just monitor here, like very, very cautiously. And the second we get a break of structure back down, if that happens, then we can de-risk. So that would kind of be the play here. But yeah, you just gotta realize that both low and high time frame contexts are quite bearish. So it is at the moment, it's a fairly counter context trade here. Just something to be aware of. Return to zone's like decent. No real complaints there. Let's see what market structure we have in here. 15-minute, yes. Yeah, so we do have 15-minute. This is our 15-minute market structure high. If we SFP this, will be interesting to see. Otherwise, regardless, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Market structure high. Minute. Okay, perfect. And yeah, and then we have the demand marked out as well. It has been mitigated as well in the lower time frame, which you can see there. And then this is kind of like the remaining non-mitigated section of this demand. So yeah, we'll see what happens. That is the pre-planning for now. Let's have a look at oil. This has just been absolutely invalidated. Yeah, high time frame accumulation is still at play here. Still very much so at play. Hourly is probably still bearish. The 3-hour is looking bullish. Yeah, I expect lower. We have heaps of demand below. Just let this play out, really. Hourly remains bearish. 4-hourly remains bullish. So yeah, just play the patient game here. Not a whole lot to do with oil. Just waiting for that return to zone to mitigate demand. AUD CAD. Well, this never confirmed. Yeah, I think it still can up until like here, but it is quite the extended tap, so I'm not too interested on this anymore. Hourly, let's have a look what's happening there. Hourly is still bearish, I believe. So a structure was broken there. Yeah, still bearish on the hourly. Still bullish on the 4-hour, so that's, yeah, and you can see these doji candles here wicking, so the bullish sentiment is still well and truly alive here. Could this be an accumulation? Potentially, like, so far looks alright. Haven't got much to complain about this, to be completely honest. And what I do want to double check is if that is valid liquidity. Yeah, definitely valid liquidity there. Right there. Perfect. Very valid liquidity here. So I will allow this to be a, yeah, if we sweep this and break structure nicely, I'll happily enter here. It's pro context. How are the Asias? Okay. All right. Asia, but the only thing I don't like is that both Asia low and Asia high haven't been taken. So that is something to be aware of. Asia low. Boom. Asia high. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens here. Not a whole lot I can try and predict here. London and New York highs are there, which is a decent liquidity target. Got New York highs up here. And then we do have London. London highs as well from yesterday. Just be patient, really. And it's just 1 hour that's bearish. And the 1 hour high is here, so have I lied? No, the 1 hour high is actually here for now, so we are allowed to come all the way back up, deviate this, like SFP it, but then complete our model and just continue lower on the hourly. So it sort of is within favor. We'll just see what happens with this extreme liquidity below. And the pre-planning can be something like this. All right, GBP, JPY. Hourly remains bullish for now, yet to break. Geez, there's a few drawings in here, eh? If this can be a model, I will allow this. Might be able to catch something here. We'll see. I just think that there is some demand below. It has been mitigated on the lower time frame, but then you do have this right there. Boom. Perfect. Sweet. That is pre-planning done. Just like that for GBP, JPY. Sentiments remain the same. USD CHF, what's going on there? Okay, this is still pre-planned nicely. The 4 hour is still bullish. The hourly might be bearish. Yes, we are bearish on the hourly, so we're still waiting for a retracement here into extreme supply, and then we can kind of comfortably short this whenever that may be. It is on the hourly, so I don't think this might be a Monday thing, an early morning Monday thing. Unfortunately, not something that I like, but it is what it is. Daily is probably still bearish. Yeah, that is our daily high there. So yeah, this planner remains the same. The one thing I will look at is potentially an accumulation into this distribution. Like if this happens, this is way too perfect. Bang, long into there, bang, short there, bang, TP. You got a long, take profit, short, take profit. If something like that does happen, I would be shocked. but we'll see. I've set the alerts regardless, should it happen. Yep, sweet. Asia highs are above as well. Euro USD. Missed out on an extended tap here as well, guys, unfortunately. And the funny thing is, I think I remember this morning when I got the notification and I was just like, I just didn't even look. This is going to hit TV. This is not coming back down here. Where could I have entered this morning? It would have been somewhere like here. Would I have had to enter on the 2 minute? Yeah. Okay, it was actually a little bit further. So I would have been... Yeah, it would have been like here. I would have gone up around here. Like, yeah, I could have entered this, but I didn't. But it's good to see this play out. Another extended tap model. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, we are very much bullish on the hourly here. Technically speaking, we might be bearish on the 4 hour. So we've broken structure there to bullish. That was our high. We SFP'd it initially, like ever so slow. Oh, we didn't know. No, we never really actually SFP'd it. We just broke it. However, we then broke it back to bearish here. Yeah, so we are actually now bearish on the 4 hour. This is interesting. So we could get a completion of this distribution, of this accumulation model, and then just full reversal back down. I can see that happening, something like this, because we're bearish on the 4 hourly now. Bang, continuation. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it. I don't trade 5 tap models and never have, never will. I don't think we're going to get a retracement. I'll set an alert here just out of bare curiosity if we do come back. So we'll see what happens. All right, moving on. Euro NZD. What was happening? Okay, I'm going to have to duck out for dinner soon, but I'll be filming a part 2 for this, where we will continue. Yeah, we're pretty bullish here. And we are still bearish on the daily. On the 4 hourly, sorry. Alright, next. Not a whole lot to chart there. Bear with me. GBP AUD. Yeah, like it does look like this might be confirmed realistically, like we're respecting demand really, really nicely and leaving more demand behind. And we're looking really bullish, so I think there might be some overlapping structure demand. Yeah, it does look to be that way. I'll like semi-allow this as overlapping structure demand. That is valid. So we will see if we can get a retracement in here. That is it for GBP AUD. All right, we'll keep the ball rolling. We might be getting an extended tap here. I don't know. We are in a confirmed distribution though, so if anything, we could even be getting a distribution here. So something to just be mindful of right here. We're obviously bullish on the hourly now, so be mindful of that. And then, are we bullish on the 4 hourly? Let's have a look. Yeah, technically we are because this is our hourly 4 hourly low, so fair enough. And then we would be bearish on the daily, yes. So yeah, not a whole lot to do here. Let's just see what happens here. Ideally, we get a mitigation of this demand, then we come back up for that distribution, or we go up and sweep the liquidity. GBP NZD. We are bullish on the hourly, so this remains. I will use this as my extreme liquidity. That is a little bit too high. Context remains bearish on the higher time frame, which could align decently with this distribution. Asia lows and highs have annoyingly not been taken. And all. Sweet, that is the plan there. Let's be patient and see what happens. There's no real demand. I'm not seeing much demand. If this would have been demand, it probably would have been structured demand on the lower time frame. It has been mitigated, so that's fine. And you have this little demand, which I'm not really worried about whatsoever on the 15-minute OBIF, so we can continue. Sifting through these pairs. USD CAD, not a whole lot. We're quite bullish overall. Maybe we've broken some form of structure here. SFP'd. Yeah, still quite bullish overall. Not a whole lot to do. Just wait for mitigation of this demand. USD JPY. As I have said, I am waiting and only for a quality distribution, or if we don't get a local distribution, I'm going to wait for a mitigation of this supply, because we are in a confirmed model. Like, this is a confirmed model, and this is just a matter of, is this going to be an extended tap or not? That's all this is. But as of now, it's not really a clean range. So we will see. Yeah, we can just use that for now. Alerts remain the same, and we're leaving behind buy side liquidity as well, as you can see here, so plenty of reason to come up higher. We also haven't broken any structure too bearish for now, so far so good. This remains to plan. Euro GBP, not a whole lot here. Are we still bullish on the hourly? Yeah. Maybe some range here. Leave that as is. Asia low has been taken. Asia high, not yet, but probably will. So not much to work with there. GBP USD is expanding quite vigorously. Same thing, we're just in this awkward range. Not a lot to do there. Just continue being patient. NZD CAD, we're apparently bullish on the hourly. Is that true? We've ever so slightly broken structure there. I remember that. Yeah, we still are, because there's no market structure here. So we remain bullish there. It'd be interesting if we can get an accumulation like that. Perfectly off that demand below. That would be close to an A++ setup. So we'll leave that. Yep, we'll leave that there. Perfect. This is running through everything. Could be something there. L is now all of a sudden bearish, so just be careful there. Yeah, it's not really the nicest range. 4 hourly is also bearish as well, so it's in the middle of nowhere. There's liquidity below. I expect this to go lower, to be completely honest. I'm not interested in this range. Yeah, leave that as is. And then AUD-CHF. Yeah, we're just bouncing between supply and demand here. We've mitigated supply. We've kind of front-ran demand. Expect us to go lower. Just be patient. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Hopefully you jotted all this down. I will catch you all soon. All right. Peace.